Reddit NFTs did $2.5 million in sales yesterday. And today we're talking to Reddit OGs, top Reddit NFT traders. We're even talking to a guy who spent 30 ETH on a Reddit avatar. So today we're gonna go over everything you need to know for Reddit NFTs. Because hey, you know what? Fine. I'm ready to be your exit liquidity, Reddit. If you want to save NFTs and bring back the bull market, here, you guys can have the sniper. Let's talk about Reddit NFTs right now. Let's go. I'm here with Galaboob, the OG, kind of like the LeBron James of Reddit posting. Why do you like Reddit customizable avatars as a Reddit user, as a Redditor?
The early experiment that Reddit did was the customizable avatars. They weren't necessarily NFTs, because you make an account, you get access to assets like a hat, whatever, shoes, and like the torso. And these assets worked the same way as NFT traits did, So people were customizing their snoo. Reddit snoo, by the way, is the Reddit avatar. The way it worked at first, I remember, man, people hated that customizable PFPs too, because like Reddit went from a hard anonymous plat, like really anonymous, to slightly pivoting into like a follower model and an audience, and people grew their own audiences before it was just a publishing model. So even that experiment, like the actual profile pictures, non-NFT, at first people were like, what is that? I don't like that. And it got adopted by the community. People liked it. Why not? But today they did, and like the further step is that you have the introduction of the hexagon on Reddit. So you have the NFT hexagons versus the normies, and that clash is calming down actually. At first, the hexagons were the odd ones out. If you had a hexagon PFP, they'd be like, what are you doing, you pleb? And now it's kind of, the other way around, I think.
Why is Reddit loving customizable avatars so much?
There has been so many threads in the past 24 hours about, what did Reddit do? How is that bullish for the community? All these really amazing threads. I even found a bunch of threads by Bored Apes telling the, crypto Twitter audience, this is how you speak the language on Reddit. These are the inside jokes that you need to learn to not get dunked on like a pleb. It's amazing seeing the culture clash. Beautiful. Like onboarding. They got access to that. So the NFT and to the ecosystem, to the idea of owning digital collectibles in the easiest way possible. Reddit sent, so if you had the official Reddit app, I think 4 months ago or something, and throughout that time, Reddit would send you a notification being like, hey, do you want a free digital collectible or a free avatar? They didn't call it NFT. And if you clicked yes, it would create a crypto vault for you on Reddit. So you still have an account. It just automatically does everything. Like I wouldn't call it a custodial wallet because you own the wallet. No one has access to it, but they generate it on your account. And all you do is click yes. And then suddenly you have your first NFT in your account. You remember how hard it was to mint the first time? Like for me, at least, I remember how complicated it was to mint on Ethereum. I would say that was the successful experiment for the most part, is the ease of access.
But what has surprised you the most about Reddit's reception towards these avatars? Like in your Reddit channels, we're talking to other people who are firmly entrenched in Reddit. Are you surprised that some of them are getting won over? Is still resistance?
I've had some of these active Redditors that would like moderate a lot or share a lot of content or just comment a lot on Reddit. All these people that were very much on Reddit, like plugged in, most of them reached out saying like, I got these free NFTs when they launched and I even minted, because Reddit did the whole thing. At first you claim free NFTs and then they launched season 1 where you would buy the NFTs at very cheap, like $10, $20 and then $100. And you could only buy them with fiat. So via Stripe, or PayPal or whatever. Through actually Apple Pay worked as well. So through the Reddit app. These people were there, saw the experiment happen, and they did take part. It only blew up at that scale in the past 48 hours. I was part of the season 1 because I was on Reddit a lot. Web3 took over. Full-time Web3, not at all Reddit. But I saw the cool art. I was like, hey, that's actually cool art. And I minted 2 pieces. One from Rojom, the census, and one from Tyler Fust, the Fustling, that really beautiful rainbow Fustling. Just minted it because it was cool art. I think it cost me like $20. I know too many people that were in the same boat that were just on Reddit, saw that thing, thought it was cool, then saw the art, thought it was cool, bought in. None of them had any clue, including the artists themselves, what Reddit had in mind. But I also suspect that Reddit did not know that this experiment would catch on at that scale. They didn't know. They were testing things. Because I've spoken with some artists. They were like they explained the process, how Reddit reached out, or told them what they need from them. Like just 3 illustrations. And then Reddit did everything. After season 1 minted out, I would say, that's when people were like, wait a minute, Reddit is doing something cool. And they started talking about it.
You mentioned this earlier, but the culture clash kind of manifested with an interaction I saw you tweet out. I saw Menace to NFTs, a notable Mutant Ape influencer, say, hey, I'm an NFT Twitter person, and quickly somebody just said, your Gen 2 BAYC is fucking uglier than my dog's fresh worm shit. I've seen a lot of my Web3 influencer friends, start saying, hey, I'm posting on Reddit, this is my page, I don't know that much about Reddit. Give us a couple of tips for our Web3 Twitter friends who are trying to come over to Reddit. What are the tips you would give our friends?
First of all, it's been wild seeing it go down, and it's still happening. Like it's actually crazy. Just to mention, like the code, they called that board mutant. They called them Gen 2. They know exactly what they are. Like they're aware of it.
They know the pain points.
Exactly, that was the pain point. So that's the funny thing is that it's kind of it's starting now. Yesterday, Farokh, I don't know, I'm not sure because I'm like Greek Lebanese. Farokh, there you go. I will call him Farokh as an Arab.
Oh, okay, go. Yeah, I don't know. What am I talking about?
It is Farokh. It's Farokh because that's how he says it. So I should just say Farokh. So Farokh went on Reddit, created a thread. So basically created, of course, Twitter posts for his audience, redirected them to the thread on Reddit, and he's leveraging his, NFT influencer position on Reddit. No one was doing that before. No one was an NFT influencer on Reddit. There was just a community. Even Frank DGods, who's a friend. Yesterday, he created his account or a fresh account and a subreddit for DGods. Like everyone's onboarding on Reddit now instead of the other way around. I would say if you want to learn the ropes, if you have no idea whatsoever, go to one place called r/avatar trading. This is the place where everything happened. This is the subreddit that started it all, but from the community side. So Reddit launched this effort, didn't do anything. They didn't have like podcasts or, community talks around it. They just launched it. They had some blog posts to educate people like, what is it? What is that initiative? But they were hands off. The people that were hands on were the avatar trading community members and the mods. They even have a Discord now. It's just the core community of, let's call them Reddit's digital collectible community. Yeah.
And if you want to learn more about Reddit or Web3, maybe you're here because you're a Redditor and you want to learn more about Web3, my guy Galaboob also firmly entrenched with some great projects in the Web3 space. So definitely give him a follow for a little bit of that Reddit, that little bit of Web3. They're starting to become one. So definitely a guy to tap in with. Thanks for coming on the channel, man. Okay, I'm here with Julian to talk about Reddit NFTs. You actually bought the hands #1 from Rojam for 30 ETH. Why do you like Reddit Avatar so much?
I spotted them about, I think, 2 months ago. Reddit gave me a little pop-up that I got a free collectible avatar. They didn't name it NFT, but I realized it's actually an NFT, and it made me curious. I was never really into NFTs, but I like Reddit. And then I figured out they also, sell some 36,000. And then it made me think, okay, 36,000, Reddit is so big. Like Reddit is like the 6th most. Why is nobody talking about it? Literally, it was like in an hour, that was my like, and if NFTs are the shit, like why is nobody talking about Reddit avatars? Like I literally wanted to do on my personal, just for the record, I wanted to post on my personal, and that was like 2 months ago, where like the peak say was 0.3 ETH, right? So I wanted 2 months ago, to post on my personal Instagram, if NFTs are the shit, I was contra NFTs for a while, and then I got into this. I started a Discord, I started a website, and it was this is a big opportunity. I could really feel it at this time. This just made so much sense to me. And today, Boffin, you can probably link it later. He wrote a very.
He's going to be on this interview. He'll be on this video.
Oh, amazing! Yeah. His thesis, kind of were like in that kind of way. I also had the vision, and Reddit is not really talking. It's not talking publicly at all. So for me now, it's just like it's a bet, to be honest, because I'm good now. Of course, I can have the avatars I'm enjoying. I'm in the community. I'm enjoying the avatars. It's a good financial. It's a fun eventual because once you took your profits and once you're done, you can just have fun there. They made it great. You don't just have one avatar. It's not boring, right? You can make like millions of combinations because it's each 7 traits, and then you have like that community aspect, and you can show off. Could go on with a couple of positive things, but I actually want to add a negative thing. There is this whole thing is under control of Reddit. So for example, if you compare it to NBA Top Shot, I've looked at NBA Top Shot and looked at what the Generation 1 prices were, and they were not as high as I expected it to be. And I think the reason was because NBA Top Shot totally diluted the market. And I actually, when I found out that Generation 2 was dropping was very, very worried that this dilution is going to happen. And we still don't know for this day if it's gonna, if it's gonna be diluted or not. So this is something you should pay attention on. And probably, in my opinion, the greatest risk, if you see that, as an investment. I mean, anyways, this should be just like a marginal part of whatever you spent on those, whatever you've invested. You should be totally fine to lose everything. But yeah,
personal aesthetic for a profile picture, but you've also been early with some of your investments. So when you buy a Reddit NFT for 30 ETH, are you thinking about this as aesthetic, profile picture, Reddit big community, you want to flex? Or is this something you see as growth potential from an investment standpoint?
Honestly, it's like a mix of everything. Of course, it's a little bit of excess. I can very surely talk to people I would not be able to talk to elsewise. It's a bit of like, I'm going to be frank, it's a little bit of status as well. This is not just aesthetics because it's also like the number one.
You have the hands number 1, Diamond Diablo number 1, Yami number 2, Remain Calm number 3, All to Count number 4, Golden Hands number 7. How important are low digits for you when collecting Reddit avatars?
So far, it's for the collectors only. Those low mints. I personally, I'm a very risk averse person, and I feel like in that, if the dilution happens, I just think the most unique ones are gonna hold the value the most, because those that have been released 1,000 times, and then imagine it's going to release 1,000 editions or 1,000.
This guy sniped 2 pure gold Midas Touch avatars for 4 ETH. In the last 12 hours, the floor is now 14 ETH. I'm over it, guys. At this point, I'd rather mint a gold NFT than have sex ever again. And these Midas Touch avatars are essentially like gold Bored Apes, alien CryptoPunks. These have become the most sought after avatars on Reddit. Okay, I'm with Boffin, who's definitely an NFT Twitter account you need to be following if you're into Reddit customizable avatars. You're kind of putting me to shame. You had this huge Reddit NFT collection. I saw your tweet. Your bags are filled.
I like collecting things, and I have been for 10 years now. I did the same thing for NFTs over the last bull run. Then I saw NFTs, and I was like, this is like a solid thing to get, with adoption kind of on the way, with like the Polygon wallets they're using, and they basically want to onboard people with digital collectibles, which I found was interesting. So I was like, okay, I can make a sizable bet on this, and so far it's been working out great.
Is this more of a case study for you, or is this an investment? Are you looking to, X your investment?
Both. Like I'm learning as I'm doing right now. I made a quick thesis and I typed that up, which you can kind of read later on. But yeah, the entire idea was that I can be right about the case study while also making profit. So that's the way I'm looking at it right now.
Go on your Twitter right now. You wrote 4,500 words. Definitely go check it out, guys. It's been heavily lauded on Twitter. What is your thesis? Give us the TLDR on why Reddit avatars will matter.
The number one would be essentially what Reddit size is. So I wrote up that they have 1.5 billion users registered, but actively, monthly, they're averaging more than 400 million. Kind of compare that to the amount of wallets that they've made free. It's 3 million. But if you look at the NFTs which are paid, there's only 86,000 of them. And from there, you have around 3,000 to 4,000 wallets which are transacting on chain to buy and sell these NFTs. So compared to what Reddit's user base is to what the transacting volume is, it's 0.0001% of the entire user base trading these, and they're already blowing up. So imagine when we have 1 million paying customers, or even 500,000 to be honest. The other thing was they don't use NFTs. They correctly have identified that NFTs, to use that is a bad idea. So they call it as a collectible avatar is what they call it, which is interesting because there's a essence of this is something that we know of, but it's digital and it's not something alienating. So that's another thing kind of going for them. The other thing would then be that because you have Reddit as this huge platform where a lot of the cultural stuff has happened, so you have Wall Street Bets, that's the recent example, Reddit can be seen as the cultural barrier which needs to be breached to be accepted in the mainstream. So with all of these things kind of pumping on, where they're like, oh yeah, we have avatars, collectibles, and it's people not realizing the NFTs, or if they do now, then they realize, oh, these aren't so bad. We can help out the artists and they make a percentage of the sales in the background once we actually buy and sell their work. And, we can get different subreddit themed NFTs later on. Plus, Reddit is worth more than like 10 billion. They definitely have the capital and manpower to build whatever they want to. With all of this kind of quickly in my mind, I go, okay, well, this can still fail. There's a lower chance of failing than something like an NFT project that was launched by a completely new anonymous team that's looking for funding.
You also pointed out on Twitter, these things have a roadmap. What excites you the most about what you've seen from like Reddit NFT roadmaps?
It's kind of silly to assume that Reddit doesn't have a plan for these and like a plan for these in a way that expands their functionality. If you look at Reddit as this social media forum where people come in and make a name for themselves, and you now have this mechanism of customizing your avatar in a way that you can prove that, hey, my outfit is rare, or like I look good, or hey, I spent X amount and I know what I'm talking about, X, Y, and Z. They can essentially ramp up personalization to a whole another level where you're saying, or you're conveying in the community, it's a lot more than it would be before. So with the roadmap, what I would assume they have is basically a Reddit integrated marketplace, which is going to be one of the bigger things that happen. Because right now, it's really, really easy to buy these collectible avatars, and I'm air quoting here, but to actually get them out and sell them on marketplaces like OpenSea, it's a very difficult and lengthy process. So with the ease of technological barriers and blockchain obfuscation, if the correct term for this, you can essentially make the selling just as easy. And what that would do is that would onboard even more people. So for them, they're just selling these collectibles to other people, which you can use in the avatar making. Maybe they even launch out some sort of graphical based exploration where you can meet up with other members with your snooze, I think they're called, or avatars. You can trade them. You can get like backgrounds which are animated. You can maybe get your karma points affecting your avatar background or like power them up or anything. So, I mean, it is that playground to play with.
Great. And yeah, if you guys are interested in learning more about Reddit NFTs, Boffin is one of the best Twitter accounts for that. So definitely go follow him. And that's the video for today, boys. Make sure to like and comment on this video. Click a subscribe if you haven't watched my content before. Always churning out NFT content, bull market, bear market, no matter what. I got the sniper out. I'm pew-pewing with my gang. Thanks as always. Just remember to say gang, gang.